Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel for Tech Tuesday, or welcome if you're new. Now today I'm going to be comparing the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7 with the older but still great Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. I'm going to let you guys know the major similarities and differences between both of these smartphones, and I'm going to let you guys know if I'm going to be upgrading to the Z Flip 7 from my current daily driver of a smartphone, the Z Flip 5. But before I get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you're not already subscribed so you can stay tuned to all my new videos dropping weekly and so you can help the channel grow. All right guys, so I have the Z Flip 5 here in the color lavender and I have the Z Flip 7 in the color mint. Now, both of them come in a variety of color options and I do have matching cases for both of them. Samsung silicone cases for both of them. This one's over 2 years old. Starting to fall apart just a little bit, but it's still working. So when it comes to the price, I'll throw them on screen for you guys. And that was the price at launch. I do want to say that nowadays, the Z Flip 5 is definitely a lot cheaper. So I would not buy either of them at the regular price, but if you're able to kind of get this one discounted because it's older, get this one with the trade-in incentive, you can get it for definitely a better price point. So now I'm going to go over the major spec similarities between both of these phones so you can get an idea of what they have in common. So both of these phones have a cover display. They both have a fingerprint unlock, 2 cameras on the exterior, 1 selfie camera, and I've gone ahead and listed some more things on screen for you. So looking at both of these, they do have a very, similar looking design, but there are differences here. One of them you can see is the cameras are a lot bigger on the Z Flip 7 versus the Z Flip 5. There's also a little bit of a difference here when it does come to the thinness of the phone. The Z Flip 7 is a little bit thinner. It's also a little bit longer. It comes to the bottom of the phone. The speakers do look a bit different. And once again, you guys can see it is a little bit longer. The sides of the Z Flip 7 are kind of this matte type of metal, where the Z Flip 5, it's more of a shiny type of metal on the sides there. When it comes to the back, the Z Flip 5 here has more of like a shiny type of glass back, where the Z Flip 5 is definitely a matte glass back. The colors definitely look a little different depending on the lighting. And if you're finding this video helpful so far, please go ahead and smash that like button for me. I'd really appreciate it. So another difference I noticed is that the way they sound when they shut and kind of how they feel. So here's the 5, here's the 7. So the 7 gets a lot louder when you kind of shut it, and it just feels better. I don't know how to describe it other than just saying it does feel more satisfying. It feels better to close, and having that louder audible sound is nice to me. But hey, they both work really well. They both are efficient, and I just love ending a phone call with a shut. It's just so nice versus just pressing a button on your slap phone. They do have different hinges. You can see that this one's a bit wider than this one is. And both of them are actually very flexible when it comes to the angles that you can, open the phone at. And when it comes to the crease on the phones, the crease is something that some people care about, some people don't. I will say that it's very, very minimal on the Z Flip 7. Like, it's something that I don't really notice much. Even when I'm watching content vertically, it's not super noticeable. Whereas the Z Flip 5 is definitely more noticeable when you are watching content and when you're using the phone. I will say that after like a day or two of using a Z Flip, if you use either one, you're really not gonna notice the crease much when it comes to like using the phone. It's something that you get used to very quickly when you're using either of them. There is a difference in the display sizes and kind of aspect ratios when you're watching videos. That's something that honestly is really big for me, is that they did make the Z Flip 7 slightly longer, and making it a little bit longer there does kind of increase the size of the display when you're watching content. So that's something I appreciate. So what you'll notice is that the little bars at the side, usually black bars, do appear smaller on the Z Flip 7 versus the 5. So you guys can see here, there is a noticeable difference in the size of the display and the content. You can see that there are smaller, once again, black bars on the sides here versus there. There is less content that is being kind of cut off and missing. So you guys saw right there the writing. So that's just a little thing there, is that you get less content that's cut off when you have it in full screen mode. And then if you have it in this mode right here, you're still seeing a bigger picture. It's a little bit bigger on the Z Flip 7 as well. You guys can just see the picture is just a little bit wider. So another difference between the Z Flip 7 and Z Flip 5 is the flex window, or the cover screen, whatever you want to call this outside display. So one of the differences would be the size. Now I've set the same background kind of on both of them just so you guys could see the difference between them. And you can see this one is just so much larger. The Z Flip 7 has larger display, faster refresh rate, and it has more native app capability. But I'll say on both of them, use something like Good Lock, which is a third-party app that can be used to whatever, app you want. This is the Z Flip 7, the display here does get a bit brighter. And then I'm gonna go right to the max. So I don't know if you guys could see the difference here just, on camera, but in person, this one is definitely brighter. And I find this one on the Z Flip 7 a lot more functional. So I just have the regular old Google on my Z Flip 5, where the Z Flip 7 came with Gemini installed. You can change it back to just having Google Assistant if you don't like Gemini. So the main difference I find between Google Assistant versus Gemini is that Google Assistant is faster. It doesn't need as long to think. With Gemini, it does take a bit longer to think, but does get you more detailed information. So let's give you guys an example. Set a timer for 5 minutes.
Got it, 5 minutes. And that's starting now.
I set a timer for 5 minutes.
What time does the Costco in Islington, Toronto close?
Costco wholesale closes at 8:30 p.m.
The Costco in Islington, Toronto, located at 2260 Islington Avenue, Toronto, O&M 9W3W8, closes at Monday to Friday, 8:30 p.m., Saturday to Sunday, 6 p.m.
So yeah, just a bit of a difference there once again. Google was faster in giving me my answer. Gemini took a little bit longer to think, but gave me more information there. The Z Flip 7 came running on One UI 8, where the Z Flip 5 has One UI 7 available. Now, I find both of them pretty similar, especially the recent One UI 7. The main difference I noticed between them is the speed, where the Z Flip 7 is just a little bit faster when I'm doing things. It's just a little bit smoother at times. And for example, if I'm opening an app, this one just loads a tiny bit faster, that's all. Now, it's not something night and day, but this one I just find is a little bit faster overall, just for everything, maybe like half a second faster. So both of them have a lot of AI features available. All right, guys, so I'm just gonna show you a little demo of the speakers here. Right now, they're at the exact same volume, Z Flip 5, Z Flip 7.
Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. Hi everyone, Abby here, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new.
All right, so I'm gonna turn up the volume to about halfway now.
Now today, I'm going to be unboxing the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7. Now today, I'm going to be unboxing the new Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 7.
Now I'm putting it at max volume, which gets pretty loud.
Was mint, and that's the color that I did order. So I'm going to be unboxing that today. Your polls on screen, the winning color was mint, and that's the color.
I definitely find that the speaker does sound better on the Z Flip 7. All right, guys, so I have been testing with the camera with both of these phones, testing it out in low light, in sunlight, indoors, fluorescent lighting, and just taking pictures of and videos of a bunch of things. Now, I personally do like to use the outer camera here for selfies and for taking photos a lot of the time, but that inside camera is the same. Now, I've gone ahead and put some pictures on screen for you guys. Let me know which one you think is the Z Flip 7 versus the Z Flip 5. A was the Z Flip 5, B was the Z Flip 7. Now, I have noticed is that the Z Flip 7 here, the colors on that are more natural. And they're a bit more muted, a little bit more boring, if you will, not gonna lie. They're not traditional Samsung colors, where the Z Flip 5 has your traditional, bold, vibrant, a bit saturated colors. The Z Flip 7 does have a 50 megapixel camera, and you're not really honestly gonna notice much of a difference until you kind of like pixel peep and zoom into the photos, or if you're cropping into them. I prefer the Z Flip 5 photos and their colors. If I'm taking a picture of my pet, if I'm taking a picture of food, if I'm taking a picture of, you know, landscape, I do like the Z Flip 5. Just the look and the color, the saturation that's going on there. Now, when it comes to taking pictures of people, I think the Z Flip 7 does a better job. The skin tones do look more natural, and they just look better. On the Z Flip 5, a lot of the time it makes my skin tone look more reddish and sometimes more orange, where the Z Flip 7 really just kind of looks very natural, actually what I look like with my skin tone. So another difference between both of these phones is the battery life. Now, with my usage doing things like taking calls, doing text messages, surfing the web, watching YouTube videos, taking photos, taking videos, and more, I've gotten on average 7.5 hours of battery life with the Z Flip 5 and 12 hours of battery life with the Z Flip 7. So it's definitely nice getting an extra few hours there. With the Z Flip 7, I do find that helpful, especially if I'm out on the go and don't have my charger with me. It's nice to have this last an extra few hours there. I'd say I'm probably more of a heavier user, you know, and I do like to watch videos and content on my phone, which is something that drains your battery life faster than just, you know, surfing the web, for example. So those are my battery life results. You definitely might get something higher or lower depending on your individual usage. Now, if you guys are asking me if I think it's worth the upgrade to get the Z Flip 7, coming from a Z Flip 5, at this time I would say yes. I am going to be upgrading to the Z Flip 7 here. I did find enough changes that really made it worth my while to upgrade this year. If you guys have seen my channel, I don't just upgrade just to upgrade like every year. I really have to see positive changes. I really have to see, you know, changes that make it worth my while. And one of the biggest one for me is the battery life here. I do like that the battery life is noticeably longer. And something I didn't mention is that I accidentally dropped this on day 2 of having the phone. And hey, it is holding up well. There's no issues. And when I was, you know, at Samsung headquarters testing out some of the units a bit early, I did drop one straight onto like concrete floor by accident. And that phone was fine too. There was no case or anything. So hey, I think there's a little bit of extra, you know, strength with the Z Flip 7 here. And if you guys are looking to pick up either the Z Flip 5 or the Z Flip 7, I've gone ahead and left a link down in the description for you to use. All right, guys. So let me know if you're going to be upgrading, if you have a previous Z Flip, or if you have a different phone completely. Are you going to be getting this phone? Are you going to be going with something else? Let me know in the comments below. I'm super interested to hear what you guys do have to say. And all right, guys, that's all I have for today. Thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.